Welcome everybody to Kerbal Declassified. Kerbal Space Program. You know it. It's great, right? Fun, happy missions, exploration, checking out the cosmos, man. Going to the Mun, Minmus. I mean, everywhere, all over that little galaxy. But there's such another side to Kerbal. And that is, since the, I don't know, early 1900s, they have been developing weapons of war 10 times more. Shall we have to say, maybe 100,000 times more destructive than what is capable that has taken place ever on Earth. I mean, just ever. And, we have some of those tests in footage, rare documents, things that have now been declassified, and different things that will demonstrate, what has taken place over the years. And this test is really scary. We will actually talk about two of the tests. First, let's go to what they started doing during the height. And this was in 1983. Height of wars that was on Kerbal. Everybody was in, high alert, ready to take off. Very similar to kind of like, Earth and, the Cold War. All of that. Kerbal was just a war zone. They created this, and they actually used it, I believe. But they were testing it multiple times, and its predecessor is the one that we will talk about later on and show the results of that, and that is Endgame. But this was what came, its successor, rather. This is the predecessor, and this is what really kind of kicked off of making something bigger, better, powerfuler, and more boom. Let me see if we can find the file. And yes, it was this one here. And we will show you the test result. Let's go, yep, it was this one. Now, this was mid-1983. And this is what they were testing. Standard, right? A lot of liquid fuel engines. I'm counting at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 engines possibly. This is the curious thing. Look at the warheads. All nuclear warheads, all 10 times the strength of Hiroshima, at least. Some even were said to be 100 times. They changed and would vary different yielding nuclear devices on this. And they did this, to trick the enemy, and also just to cause various amounts of destruction from small to little. Very devious to have this many, first of all, warheads in general. They would take it up into orbit as so. And let's see see like what its reach is right now. It is going, yeah, over there. And right into there. And as you see, it would travel like an ICBM until it got to right about here. This is at the 72 mark. And then it should change to prograde. And it would go down there. And fire! And this is where the interesting thing would happen. As you can see, lots and lots of warheads. Coming and raining down upon Kerbal. And you know, some maybe not making it through the atmosphere, others blowing up in the atmosphere. And then you had some like this. And, you know, this would fly off. Some didn't let go. Like I said, I mean, that was that. Now, we will show another launching of that. This was done now in early to late 1983 and early 84. Hold on. Don't know why they're calling me. They always call me when I try to do these kind of controversial videos. This one now was actually done at their Woomerang site, and this one was actually a little bit more, let's say, done closer. It wasn't sent as far up. It was meant to just test its capabilities and to see if it could launch mass destruction. And might I add, some of these warheads actually do have parachutes attached to them. So, they would actually rain down later on, slower than the other nuclear blast. So either B, they would miss the blast altogether, and, you know, later on in the commotion, more blast take place, or they would get blown up in the atmosphere and really cause even more destruction. So a lot of factors were put into these, and the various yields and everything else. This test was brought up only about 12,000. It was sent with parachutes, and here's what we're talking about. And as you can see, crazy amounts of warheads were sent. And as you can see, they're just falling at various rates. I mean, this is just whatever your target is. I mean, you're just look at that. I mean, you're just annihilating it. And like I said, those are all between 10 and 100 more times powerful than what was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So I mean, like I said, I mean, it could take out possibly this whole area here, if not more, as I circumference this. And as you can see, they just start hitting and raining down. And like I said, just annihilating the area. Now, this was brought into the media eye, and we saw these, what we heard was speculation. These tests weren't actually declassified until recently, but, I mean, these are the specs. As you can see, multiple warheads loaded up each one of those and just, just pounded the enemy. And when this, was talked about, people were saying, this will destroy whatever, we have. We have no chance of fighting this back. This is just going to pummel us. The only thing that could be done would be to launch a doomsday style device. Gotta see now if I can find the file. No, was not that one. Boy. So many different files that have been made. I mean, if that's the note to what is... No. I'm gonna try to find one more, but I think they might have gotten to it. They might have deleted the file. And that was, what. Yeah, they got to it. You know, that phone call and what was going on. I think they got to deleting my file that I had, the last file that I had from Operation and Game. I'm trying to think if I remember it from scratch. I think I do. I'm not sure if I do. But it went something sort of like this. This. I remember correctly. Sorry, like I said, I'm going to do this now from scratch. Of what I remember about this. It went like this. What they did was, the manufacturers, is they took this and decided to replicate it, but in a different way. And you know, like I said, Kerbal has a very dark history. Did I just crash it? I might have. Might have just crashed it, folks. Oh no, there it is. That's what it was. And this was, like I said, an end stage weapon. But as you can see, it took a lot of doing. I'm not really sure if I will be able to actually recreate the file. I might have to go back and look, possibly. But if not, we're going to see if this is going to work. This was the test. Now, mind you, and same as this, the test is not using actually live nuclear warheads. None of them are actually real missiles on this test. It wants me to go back up. Obviously something to this magnitude, while was created, could never be tested. It would end civilization as we knew it. You know, and that's the problem with Kerbal. Let's see now. Okay. And let me see, was this what? I can't believe we lost the original end game footage. I do have some photographs somewhere on my phone deep down. Okay, let's actually, if I'm correct, I believe it only had 4 cluster nodes because of the sheer size. 1, 2, 3. It had to be it because there's no way that they would have been able to build such a device back then. I'm not even able to compute it now, and it freezes up. I could only imagine with them. So let's try 4. See what happens. Well, I want to go. See, and that's what we want to know here. The engine plate. Has it just reached its max capacity? So was it a myth? Can't be. Some calculation has to be off here. Why won't it go? Good question. Let's ask a freaking professional here. Why won't this thing go? It's going there. Fine. Let's try something different then. Let's try just the one. No, 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 no. See, that's the problem. Look, um, we gotta just go like this. We're gonna push all that up with this. And see, this was their problem, so what they finally did, and now I remember, they ended up getting rid of this. Getting rid of the solid, getting rid of, regardless, excuse me, getting rid of the fuel because this was the thing. They didn't really care. It didn't need to go far. It didn't need to go like an ICBM. This was a last minute bomb that was used in case they got hit with that first test that we saw. That would just kind of, annihilate you. So, what they decided to do was something, a little bit more menacing. They took this. They actually took another plate like this. If I'm correct, they put double warheads on it. No. I believe they did, how many? I want to say they did just a double cluster node. Boom. Then they took in this and made it double. And this is what I believe was done. This test is crazy because it's going to go at a very slow pace. It can't even comprehend what it has. Now we put a thoroughbred, went right. What? Oh, yeah. Thoroughbred went right there. What? Is that just one? No, no, no. It should just be one. Thoroughbred, sorry. And this would be a demonstration of this. And like I said, this is like just crazy technology. Nobody needs something like this. I mean, we've seen, what's taken place on Earth. We've seen the Tsar bomb by Russia, crazy weapons that can just wipe out things. But this was something that's totally different, totally just off the wall. Yeah, crazy. Now, if I'm correct, we gotta put the booster first. Set it off. Now, like I said, this would be in the case, emergency, right? They see that other thing is coming. It's coming. And boy, is it coming. So we fire off the missiles. And like I said, it's a very slow simulation, as like I said, the testing and everything was done. Similar. The amount of warheads on this alone is just devastating. It's insane. Like I said, this right here was not using live rounds. Supposedly there is a test flying out there that did use live rounds on the Mun, which is scary as well. As you can see, they're only reaching about 15 kilometers up. You know, very slow. But like I said, it doesn't need to go far. Wherever this thing hits, it is taking out everything. Once the fallout, it's not going to matter. It's just not going to matter. This thing was built to do one thing only, and that is to end the existence. It's a planet killer, it's end game, it's checkmate. There's no coming back. I mean, just look at the amount of warheads on this thing. Look at the amount of power. I mean, imagine the US or Russia, China, or somebody having such a devastating weapon right now, like endgame. Some say that's the patent of death itself. And it's still rising, not going very fast. Doesn't need to. The enemy is already struck now below, right? Let's just say enemy is striking below. What's left has been destroyed. You saw the first test. We saw the nuclear bombs. We saw hunting in mass amounts. There's nothing much surviving that. Your country, your region, everything is gone. But this has already been sent up. It's got that mega computer in here. The technology alone in that is just insane. And then it goes up. You know, and it's only going up, what? 70,000, maybe under 100,000 meters. And it starts to turn. 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 And this is so it actually drops them down. Now, and there it is, it launches. It launches everything. This one actually uses a double firing system. That computer, like I said, is just, it can do multiple systems if it wanted. Technically, somebody could fly off to safety if they wanted to, if they built it right to land on the Mun with that computer. Now this is where the simulation gets a little wonky and everything goes a little crazy, as the sheer magnitude of bombs being released is just ridiculous. It's an earth killer. End game. End game. And you can see it there. This is, I mean, they're going everywhere. Not to mention the EMPs that just went off within the atmosphere. Look at all of them just unleashing into the universe to rain down upon Kerbal. And I mean, let's get into another kind of mode. And you can just see the sheer amount of bombs that have been released. And my God. Not to mention what continues to explode in the atmosphere. All the EMPs poisoning, destroying the ozone, destroying everything. Nuclear winter. And then you have this. Raining back down. Onto Kerbal. I mean, just look at it. It's immense. Immense. And this was Operation Endgame. Just crazy. I mean, that many, and each one on this is actually 100 to 1,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima or Nagasaki. So, I mean, like I said, it's just destroying everything. The blast might start here, but it's so many nuclear forces with such high yields, not to mention what already took place in the upper atmosphere and lower atmosphere. It just shatters everything. Ecosystem, everything is gone. Nuclear winter, if, whatever is left. And not to mention, like I said, they're using the same technology as before. So in case anything did survive all these blasts, now they have look at them all being delivered by parachute at a different time rate. So as the world is scorching below, more devastation, death, and destruction is coming in. Round 2. And it is just devastating. Totally devastating. We can zoom out now. But, I mean, even the area covered is a good sized area here. And it literally, like, blew a hole within it. And like I said, I mean, this is just all raining down right now. And look at how it is all open up. And it's just a pummel fest. I mean, we're going to try to get into some ground level. The ones that didn't land and detonate, I mean, It's immense. It's immense. Kerbals are no joke. And as I was saying, they've been doing a lot of devious things. These tests were conducted in 1984. They still have that technology today. Supposedly, they still have one of those left, live, ready to go at any given point. Supposedly, they were supposed to dismantle it in 2014. There were some stalls and delays on where to put all that nuclear material, and well, nobody really knows what happened after that. So, yeah, I mean, Kerbal, dangerous. That is, like I said, the planet killer. The end game. And my God, what destruction it can cause. We'll be back later, though. Let me tell you, with more weird Kerbal, kind of things. Let me see something. I just want to see something on the parachute realm. Why we're here. Mind you, had this get into the upper atmosphere, it would cause major chaos. But let's give it a save. And like I said, we'll be back. We have many more declassified Kerbal space